I'm looking pretty rough, I would say.
It's been a long week for everybody.
This week has been a tough week, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
lots going on since the last one we did. Rivian's been delivered. It's pretty awesome.
You like it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I still like the Tesla. Tesla's my thing, but it's nice to have a truck around too. And
Yeah, I'm sure. And you guys really don't, because it's new, you probably don't utilize it as much as you probably
yeah, we're
can
just
right
like
now.
keeping it in the garage for now. But when we get some snow, I'm gonna take it out, check and try it out.
Yeah, you should get snow pretty soon. Are you going to take it skiing?
No,
Oh,
no,
you're
I'm
not?
not gonna
Huh?
do. I'm gonna take the Tesla because I know where the superchargers are.
Oh, true. I guess so. Yeah, it's a different charging system, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would do it. I would do it, but I'm good at the Tesla. Skis fit in
Yeah.
there. So yeah, that thing's pretty awesome. And we have another new beast to announce today that just came out
Uh,
yesterday. The ECW270 outdoor EP.
yeah, that is a like high-end outdoor access point. It's really nice. We're testing two of them right here right now. We're testing like the not necessarily like a point-to-point configuration because it's like omnidirectional antennas, but we're just testing like the meshing. And so like from access point to client, we saw right around 250 feet, but we were doing 4K video.
Really?
Yeah, that's outside. And that's not even that was at 6 feet up.
Right. So yeah,
You would
you're
you would
you're
typically mount at like 12 to 15 feet.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the new high-end outdoor AP. It reminds me a lot of the old ENH 1750 that people really loved. It's got the
Yeah.
the IP 68 case, metal backing. It's really heavy duty, and it has some pretty impressive specs. I'll put a picture of it up here.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's really nice. It's got surge protection built in.
that's good.
Um, it has we were talking about it before. It does have a scanning radio. It's a it's an interesting antenna configuration. There's five on top and three on the bottom. So this one is a 4x4 versus like the 1750 was a 3x3.
Yeah,
So this is a 4x4. Hence, that's why we probably got 4K video at that distance.
yeah. So many different antenna patterns. I mean, and the specs are -20 Celsius to +65. So it can go in like harsh environments. The built-in
Yeah.
surge protection is like a first, I think, for Ingenious, right?
No, we had that before on other versions, but when you get into like IP68, that's when we started kind of like implementing that stuff. When you look at like our end stations, they're IP55. We don't build that stuff in. We
Yeah.
just, you know.
That's such a low cost device that you just
Yeah.
replace it, right? If one
Uh,
fails, even though they last for like 10 years usually.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, we have people that are running those things for like 5, 10 years. It's kind
yeah,
of crazy. Like
yeah. So you don't need it
IP55.
in something like that, but something like this that's a more substantial investment. You want to make sure that it has some kind of surge protection.
Yeah. I mean, MSRP is at 999,
Yeah,
which is actually not a lot when you think about what you're getting. So it's a Wi-Fi 6, 4x4 with removable antennas on, 2.4 and 5. It has two Ethernet ports. So this access point is PoE plus plus.
I see that.
So I think peak performance is like 43 watts,
Okay.
and it passes PoE plus. It passes that
So
on the
you
secondary
should
port.
use this with the multi-gig switches.
Yeah, you would use the ECS 2510 FP or the ECS 2512 FP or the ECS 5512 FP, and then there's yeah, those are the PoE plus plus switches that I would probably use for that.
Yeah, so you'll need it. Does it have any like if you don't have a PoE++, does it have like a diminished capacity or just not recommended to use it at all?
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. It will definitely run probably on like 802 3AT,
Yeah.
but if you're trying to power something up, yeah, I would just go with PoE plus
Yeah,
plus.
this
I
thing
would
we have
not
the
mess around with it.
switches, so it's not a big deal, right? We have the switches, so And the switch
Yeah,
is 2.5 gig.
and we have PoE. We have a PoE injector as well.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Gotcha.
yeah. We have it's a 90-watt PoE injector. It's 2.5 gigabit. So
Okay.
there, it's one of the newer PoE injectors.
Gotcha. I'll have to bring those in. I haven't brought them in yet.
Yeah,
But
that they're fairly new.
there hasn't been a lot of call for that yet. We didn't have this access point, I guess. So yeah, and so it has PoE out on the second port, which is 1 gig. So yeah, you can hook some IP cameras up or maybe a bridge or something to the other port.
Yeah, the primary port's 2.5 gig.
Yeah, this is nice. So all right, so these are gonna start shipping pretty soon. I put them up on the website. I'll put a link in the video if anyone wants to check the specs out.
Yeah, I initially had five. Sorry, I initially had five, and they already sold, and they're starting to go on back order now.
Okay, I'll get some.
Just from our sales efforts.
I'll get some in, and I'll get some in. So in case anyone's interested, just let me know. And then we wanted to talk about the Wi-Fi 6E. We're starting to see it take off, right? Everyone's talking about Wi-Fi 7, but there's a lot of new devices that are supporting 6E now.
Yeah, we are. This specifically the ECW336. So, the beginning of this year, we wanted to run a promotion on 6E, which is a buy one get one free, right? So, if you buy the ECW336 from Jeff, you can claim that with us, and we'll ship it out for free. And we're actually pretty fast. But if you're like planning on projects, just try to build in some time for like for shipping the free one. But yeah, we're doing a buy one get one free on that one.
Yeah, so if you have a project you need 20 APs, you can buy 10 from me, and then Ingenious will ship out the other 10. You can start installing the first batch, and then Ingenious will ship out the rest, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But as far as like client devices for 6E, I've been using the ECW336 here for a while. I've got multiple laptops that have 6E capability. So I've got the Intel AX210, and I think you do in your laptop too, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm seeing like over a gigabit of throughput on my laptop. With my internet connection or anything else. So it really works. It's fast. There's no interference, and it has good coverage. I mean, we initially thought it may have less coverage, and it does in 5 gigahertz, but the signal quality is so much better because there's nothing in that spectrum yet that it just works. Even if the signal's low, it's going to work better.
Yeah, and so what I've noticed is, sometimes you kind of look at that little Wi-Fi indicator on your laptop.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to say laptop because that's what I use. I'm using a laptop, but I could have nothing on that little indicator and be connected and still like max out the ISP connection. Like I'm basically at line speed
Exactly.
at even the weakest signal, and the SNR and the RSSI is actually not even. It could be like 60 to 70 somewhere around there, and still the connection is good and fast. Very.
There's so little interference in the spectrum so big that it just works. So don't look at that. If you're using 6E, don't worry too much about that little Wi-Fi signal. Just see how your connection's working with streaming and whatever else you're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So some other devices that support 6E, the new MacBook Pro, you saw something about that?
Yeah, I saw a post on LinkedIn that the MacBook Pro is now featuring Wi-Fi 6E.
Yeah.
6E, sorry. I think with that coming out, right, that launching, I think we'll see even more demand than what we are right now. I mean, yes, Wi-Fi 7 has been kind of, launched at CES, and there's some consumer routers out there that have it. You'll start to, we're seeing more and more client devices coming with 6E. And so the MacBook Pro, I think, will really help kind of kick that off even more so in regards to the demand for the ECW336, which is nice since we're doing the buy one, get one free, right? So there's these other whenever you buy a new laptop, you can option for the 6E, or you can buy that card that you implemented into like two of your laptops too, right?
Yeah, you can get the AX210 cards. They're like $30, and you can upgrade an older laptop to 6E. They're so cheap, but the antenna connectors are really, really tough to get on there. So I've damaged a couple cards just because of the connectors are so small.
Now, did you have to have a third antenna?
No, they're 2x2. The 210's a 2x2. So when there's a 4x4 available, I don't know if there is in the client side. There probably is, but I would probably order a laptop that has that built in because those antenna connectors are going to be too much to disconnect,
Right.
and reconnect without wrecking them. I wish they had. I mean, they're meant to be in there the lifetime of the laptop probably, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they don't expect me to change it, but it is possible. I've done it. And then so the other one, the iPad Pro supports 6E also, and I think I know people have been using that with the 336 and the Ruckus R760 also. I sold a couple of those today, so people are starting to get more client devices and they want to try these 6E speeds, and it doesn't disappoint when you get a device and you can see over a gigabit of throughput. That's pretty nice, right? With no interference.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So
It's
and
great.
if you have a project coming up with this BOGO, the ECW336 is going to be cheaper than the 230, pretty much, right? Like I didn't look at the numbers, but it should be.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah. So I mean, so if you have a new project coming up, there's no reason not to use it because it supports 2.4 and 5 gigahertz also.
Yeah, it's a tri-band setup, 2.4, 5, and 6 gigahertz.
Yeah.
And it's a cloud manageable device, so you can just you can simply enable all three bands on and use. In fact, you can actually create one network on 2.4 and 5, and then one on 6 gigahertz.
Yeah,
On
that's what
two
I
different
did.
SSIDs. That's what I do at home as well.
Yeah, I created the
Um,
6 gigahertz network, and my laptop just stays on that. And
yep.
with two of the 336s in my house, like one in the basement, one here in the office, I get full 6 gigahertz coverage pretty much.
Yeah. How big is your house?
I mean, it's not very big. It's it's meager, but it's like I don't know, maybe it's like 2,500 square feet or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but 2,500 square feet with 6 gigahertz everywhere. That's really good.
With two APs, I mean, I could probably put a third in, to get a little bit better signal everywhere, but
Yeah.
and I do with 5 gigahertz, like Wi-Fi 6 APs, like the 230. I would have maybe three of them, just because of interference from other neighbors and things like that. Right, with the 6E, maybe you don't need as many to get full coverage.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though the signal's lower, there's no interference, so it's just gonna work.
Yeah. I only have one in my house, and
Oh, you do, and you have like 3 levels too, right? Like
I have four.
four
It's
levels.
really awkward. I have 4 levels. It's about 2,000 square feet. It's up like close to 2,000 square feet.
So, and you're able to get it in the highest level. You can still connect to it.
Yeah. Where it's situated, it's not centralized at all. It's kind of on one side of the house, but
Oh,
our
okay.
house is like oddly stacked, right? So I can be in the top room and have like a really really good connection because I'm above the AP at that point.
Oh, gotcha.
And then
Okay.
anytime I'm like working, I'm typically under the AP at that so I'm either above it or below it.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so like where our common areas are, or where the majority of the times where we're at, like if we're online and things like that, I'm somewhat close to the AP anyway. So, but it works really well.
Nice. All right. Anything else you want to talk about this week?
No, other than no, I think that's it. I was going to bring up the other access point. We can talk about that on the next one.
Yeah, we'll save that for the next one.
Yeah.
So keep people waiting. But yeah, so that let me know if you have any questions about the 270 or the 336. And Brian is also available. And remember to like and subscribe. And we'll be back next week with another podcast.